So far, we have a rumor from the newspaper, and what remains to be seen is whether this thing has any more legs than the story about the Apple phones a few weeks ago. But the fact is, Huawei is a huge company. Huawei has big strategic interests, not only with Softbank, which means, of course, Sprint T-Mobile, but also with Intel, with Baidu, and with many other companies in the U.S. and abroad, listed companies. Big companies in China are necessarily close to the government because the government promotes them and the government gives them access to resources. So it's very hard to get behind this to know. It's very important, though, because these telecom companies are rolling out the 5G networks. And for all my sins, I'm actually the chairman of a data storage company. And what I know is the latency, short latency, 1,000th of a second, is what allows the 5G to be able to work in things that require quick response, like, for example, steering your car.
John, help us with this, though. So in the United States, Huawei phones, for example, are hard to find. AT&T was about to do a deal with Huawei that got scuttled last year. You talked about other companies beyond the Sprint T-Mobile deal.
Sure.
You talked about Intel, for example. What's the relationship between Huawei and Intel at this point?
Well, you know, Huawei is the largest telecom infrastructure company in the world. That doesn't just mean handsets. It means actually the networks. ZTE does the same thing, but ZTE actually started more emerging markets, Huawei more developed markets, and the two companies themselves know each other quite well. The Intel relationship is Huawei, Alibaba, Tencent, Baidu, are rolling out a network in China that uses Intel chips as core to the thing. So when you start questioning the usability of the equipment of the largest infrastructure company in the world, it's going to affect a lot of different companies. And of course, that's what's been happening, not only with us shutting them off from national defense and other national security measures, but also last weekend, our Congress warned the Canadians, the Australians are worrying about it, the South Koreans have shut them out of government contracts and so forth.
By the way, just real quick on Sprint T-Mobile, given how close people think that Softbank is to Huawei, how much do you think that is going to weigh ultimately on the decision to allow that transaction to move forward or not?
Well, it's a highly politically charged environment, and CFIUS, of course, is under the control of the Treasury, which means President Trump. So I would expect it to be used as a weapon in the whole trade intellectual property dispute, and therefore it could block it. Of course, the largest owner of that, of course, will end up being Deutsche Telekom, which means the Germans are drawn into this too. So as I say, this is a global drama we're watching roll out, and it is going to be a big story.